Hey everyone. Hope you guys are having an awesome night. So we're going to get right into it and I'll share the presentation. For Happiest Me in 2018. So welcome to this webinar, and let me know as you're popping on where you're from, where you're at in the world. I muted everyone so you can't actually talk to each other and it's clear for the audio, just so that there's no background noise. But at the end, I'll also be unmuting people if you guys have any questions. So you guys can just put in the chat where you guys are from. And I'm Laura McPhee. I'm a joyful goddess. I'm a speaker, healer, and coach, and I'm so excited to put this on for you guys tonight because I've been there exactly where you guys are at, not being the happiest version of myself that I wanted to be. And now that I'm on the other side, I'm super excited and grateful that I have the opportunity to share my knowledge and experience with you guys. So I'm a theta healer, certified theta healer, master Reiki practitioner. I'm a life coach. I have all kinds of different tools and modalities that will support you guys on your journey. I think we got a chat. Awesome. Jen, St. John, New Brunswick. Awesome. Same as me. Very cool. Oh, there. So I want you guys to ask yourselves, do you feel tired, stressed out, unappreciated in your life, overwhelmed, or taken for granted? Do you want to feel happier? Hopefully you do, because that's why we're doing this whole event tonight. Do you tend to put your happiness off? Do you put your own wants and needs and desires on the back burner and put other people's on the priority list and put yourself way down on it? Are you a people pleaser, perfectionist, or a workaholic? Because that's how we're gonna frame the whole talk tonight on how you can live your happiest life now. I was there. I was exactly that version a few years ago now. And I'm so excited when I get those kinds of clients coming through my door or like a clarity call, because I'm like, oh, I've been exactly in your shoes. So we can help you get to your happiest life right now and stop delaying it to the next week or month or year, that you can take action steps right now and just choose to be happier in the moment and as things go by. So we're going to talk about 5 simple steps tonight. So it's all about self-love and self-care, having an attitude of gratitude, having healthy boundaries to protect yourself and your energy, and having assertive communication skills. And you guys can choose to be happy right now. So we're also going to discuss that a little bit. We're going to do healings throughout to remove the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. So by the end, you guys will feel a little bit lighter, more relaxed, and have a happier perspective already. So who's excited to have a happier life? Woo! And I want you guys to get this level of like, yes, excited about this, because what you put into this is what the universe is going to give back to you. That's the same anywhere in your life that the universe shows up to the level that you do, it matches you. So if you're called to do something, you need to show up for the universe to meet you halfway. So you want to be in that high energy of like, yes, like I have my pen and paper. I am here to learn all the things that I need to. I will receive the healing and I'm going to be a happier version of myself now. So get super excited. And think about what has been preventing you from being happy now. Because if we have that clarity, then we can also make those shifts and changes. Because if we're not aware of things, then we don't really know exactly what's preventing us from being happy. So do you feel like you never have time for yourself? Are you always running around with like a million and two to-do lists? Wow, say that 3 times fast. Do you feel like you're unappreciated? You're undervalued? Do you find yourself thinking, I'll be happy when? I'll be happy when I get this promotion, when I get to the weekend, when I finally get on vacation, when I get a couple more weeks vacation, when I'm retired. Hopefully you're not putting your happiness off that far, but I used to. I was always putting this off because by the time I got to one milestone, I had already pushed it off to the next one. So I was never actually happy in the present moment, and that stopped making sense to me. So do you know what your dream happy life even looks like? Do you have that clarity that you need? Or are you kind of just living in it is what it is energy and you're just kind of going along with it? Are you working too much? Are you worried and stressed out and tired and overwhelmed all the time? Are you exhausted by it all? And this is just like a downward spiral that just keeps repeating and you can't really figure out how to get out of it. Or like you sometimes improve and then like all goes to shit again and like you can't sustainably find your happiness. Well, you're in luck because I was there. I've been there. I'm on the other side of it and I'm here to support you in literally every way that I can humanly possibly support you so you can be happier, because the world needs more happy people. You deserve to be happy. Your family and friends and loved ones deserve a happier version of yourself. So we're going to get you there. And you also have a chance to win. So this is going to be for a special 1-hour session with me for you to dive even deeper into what's going on in your life right now and to remove more limiting beliefs, do more theta healing and clearing downloads on it, whatever you want for this 1-hour session. It's totally for you. And because some people were messaging me that they can't catch this webinar live, that they will be catching it on the replay, I did say that for 24 hours, this will be available. So how you win is by going onto Facebook. So I'll give you a minute right now if you want to do it right now. For those of you who are live, you can go onto Facebook and just tag me in a post that says you're learning to live a happier life, you've decided to live a happier life, whatever. I want you to write down and say to the universe and tag me in it so that I know you've done it, that you're deciding today to be happier, that you're choosing happiness now, whatever verbiage you want to put on it, just make a post and then hit send. Make sure you tag me in it so that I know that that's happening. If you wanted to say, I'm doing a webinar with Laura McPhee to get happy, that works too. Whatever way you want to say that, just so you guys get your chance to win that one-on-one session. And I'll probably announce that with the Facebook Live tomorrow. So 24 hours from now, which will be 7:30 Atlantic, 6:30 Eastern. Plus, I'm going to give you guys a special opportunity at the end of this to continue your journey with me in a variety of different ways. So I did say how to win, so I'm giving you that space and time right now for any of you who do want to go onto Facebook and type that in. And while you do that, I just want to make sure everyone that was coming on live, because I know sometimes people use Zoom for the first time, get a little bit confused, especially with all the different call-in options. Cool. I'm going to give you guys a little bit about my story for any of you who are brand new to me, don't know anything about me. So I used to be a full-fledged people pleaser, perfectionist, and workaholic, even by the time I was graduating high school. Since about the age of 7, I started working for my parents in their in-home accounting business. And I initially started off doing like shredding and organizing and cleaning. And then I quickly got into actual data entry work and understanding accounting and all that stuff. So I was always working. If I wasn't studying to do the 110% A++ honor roll student, then I was also doing hundreds and hundreds of hours of volunteer work. I volunteered at my church. I volunteered for the Key Club. I volunteered so much I got scholarships throughout university. I was always busy and always putting other people first. If a friend or family member asked me to do something, my answer would always be yes, even though if I didn't really have time and it was going to cut into my sleep or I wasn't going to have enough time to like eat, and I just kept going and I'd put my own needs and wants and desires on the back burner all the time. But it seemed normal because that's what I was learning from the people that I surrounded myself with. I was around type A, high achiever people, and it just seemed normal for everyone to be like, how are you? Busy, but good. And to just live that life. So then when I was in the corporate world as a corporate accountant with a ton of high achieving, perfectionist, people pleaser people, it all seemed so normal. And unfortunately, in the world that we're in right now, we have a burnout culture. So it's also very normal for us to work through lunch, to not drink water and like not get up to pee, like pee once or twice a day, and like not take care of our actual human needs and put productivity or a deadline ahead of our own health, which isn't healthy. So I actually got promoted, which I was super excited about at the time, but my entire old role wasn't backfilled. So I was working super long hours, super late at night. I'd leave at 1 or 2 in the morning sometime and come back for 9 in the morning. And I was just exhausted. And there was a lot of financial stresses and family burdens happening. And I was still trying to get more and more letters after my name because that'll make me happier, right? And I was also studying to get my CMA, which turned into CPA, and just going through so much. And I was like this close to burning out. I like hit my breaking point because I was consistently putting my happiness, my health, and all those things off later. I was saying I'll be happy when, and not actually giving myself a break. And it ended up being like, I'm just looking forward to the weekend because then I can catch up on all the hours of sleep that I've missed, and maybe I can catch up on some of my shows. And that was my life. And then I studied, and then I repeated the cycle. So I did have that breaking point where I couldn't handle it anymore. And I'm super lucky and blessed that I had friends who were in their 50s who were on my team who were seeing that I was repeating patterns that they had in their life that was unhealthy, and that they were starting to even shift and change their mindset on, is this really worth it? Like, am I really never going to be happy until I retire? And all those things, like people who had already had their kids leave the house and they're like, I keep putting my happiness off. This isn't sustainable for me. And I was able to go on their journey as well. So I was super grateful for their support in my life. So then I was able to continue in a better direction before I like fully burnt out. So I went to different personal development things. I love reading. I got counseling done through my employee assistance program. I did coaching. I had my own theta healer. I was like a huge seeker. I was like reading all the books that I could. I was like addicted to my breakthroughs. I was like, oh, I love my aha moments. I loved like any little piece I could get that would build on my healing journey, that would like help me in my health and wellness puzzle, if you will, to support me in being a little bit happier and a little bit happier. Because I was going through with this mantra, I'm here to be the best version of myself. Like, I'm not comparing myself to anyone else. I just want to be the best version of me and keep getting better with myself. So now I'm happy to report that I'm an ex-people pleaser, ex-perfectionist. Don't have those ties anymore, but I'm a recovering workaholic. I'll still have those tendencies and I get really excited about the work that I do now, but I have a lot of different tools and scenarios and schedules really that are in place that prevent me from getting into a negative space with my work, to make sure that when I do wellness expos on the weekend, I do self-care the day before and the day after. I block my schedule off so that clients can't book with me. I do all kinds of things that protect my time and energy now so that it is a healthy way. My mission here on earth is truly to be the best version of myself and help others do the same so that we can all live happy, healthy, and fulfilling lives. And I do believe that when we shift and change this, it has so many positive ripple effects on the rest of the world. I've seen that in my life, even though I truly thought when I was starting this journey that I was being selfish. Like, I think I even told people that I was doing one thing because I didn't want people to know that I was seeing a coach, that I was seeing a counselor at the beginning, because it seemed not necessary, like compared to a deadline or compared to what someone else was wanting or needing from me at the time. So I made and literally carved out space for my healing on my journey. And it's been the most loving thing that I could have ever done for myself and my family, because on the other side of it, people started coming out to me, my loved ones, friends and family members, even coworkers who I had no idea who were watching me. People came up to me and they're like, what are you doing different? What book were you reading? Who did you go see? I had a family member who came up and asked me after I quit my corporate job, how did you get the confidence to do that? Like, how did you let go of the certainty of like all these things? Like, how did you just quit your job? And I've been able to influence so many incredible people that were just in my family and my immediate group and like little world that I was in. And then years later, now I'm helping people like you who are watching this, who are desiring a happier life. So I'm so unbelievably grateful for everything that I've learned and the incredible positive ripple effects that it's had, not only in my life, my family's life, my friends' lives, but also in the greater world. All those positive ripple effects going out. So this is a little bit of my life before and after to see if you can recognize a little bit of your before. So I didn't really know what self-love or care was. I rarely showed that I was grateful. And now I have daily practices in my life that I prioritize my self-care with, that I have things that I do every day that show myself that I love myself. And I have daily gratitude practices and regular, consistent gratitude practices to other people in my life to show my gratefulness and to be in that high vibration, loving state. Oh, and we have a chat message, so I'll check into that. Yes, healthy boundaries are super important. I agree, Jen. So yeah, I had little to no boundaries. Now I have really healthy boundaries, and we're going to talk about all these areas as we go through tonight's webinar as well. I'd always say yes to people. I was unhappy without truly knowing it. Now that I'm at this space in my life, I can look back to that time and be like, I was miserable. Like being that close to burning out, I was exhausted, and that's not what life is supposed to feel like, but it's the only version of life that I had ever experienced. So it's so crazy to be on the other side of it and be like, I was so unhappy without realizing it. And it's just that normalized suffering that we have where it looks like our friends or our families, so we think that that's normal, but you can have a happier life. And because you're watching this, you have space that your higher power, be that God, creator, source energy, the universe, has opened up for you to be like, you can move into this space. This is for you. You can be happier now. So now I only say yes to things that I truly want. I only create win-win-win situations with people. I want to make sure that everyone feels like happy and awesome from every kind of interaction I have. So I am very happy now. I'm joyful now. That's why I'm a joyful goddess now. The happiness coach and healer seemed like a baseline compared to joy and elation and bliss and freedom that I'm living now. I used to be a very passive communicator, so people wouldn't really know what I was thinking or feeling. I would say yes when I really wanted to say no, and I would just shut up and take a lot of things that weren't healthy. I did that in relationships as well. I had sex when I didn't want to or when it was painful, or I would say, yeah, I don't mind going to this place, but I was really uncomfortable going there. There'd be so many ways in my personal life and in my professional life that would show up where I was very passive and it wasn't fulfilling for me and it wasn't healthy for me long term. And now I am very assertive so that people do know what I'm thinking and feeling. I'm able to communicate that in loving ways to people so that I'm able to create those win-win situations with people and I'm not taking things personally like I used to. So there's so many ways that that's grown and enhanced my life. So we're going to do theta healing downloads throughout. So I want to make sure that everyone understands theta healing. I know that some people who are catching this definitely do know what it is, but just bear with me as I explain it to everyone else who's new. So theta healing deals with your theta brainwave. So that is directly connected to your subconscious mind. So your theta brainwave, you go into normally every single night when you go to bed. It's a natural process. And in that theta brainwave state, we're able to shift and change some of those subconscious limiting beliefs that you have that have been holding you back. And we got those not by putting our hand up being like, can I hate myself? Can I have self-sabotage? Can I like put other people before me and it hurt me? We didn't like raise our hands consciously and be like, I want these bad blocks or limiting beliefs. They were put into us just through osmosis. So especially between the ages of 0 and 7, we're little sponges. So anything that our friends or family or teachers or parents say or influence us with, we just take in like little sponges, which is awesome because you learned how to speak English, your native tongue, through osmosis. Very good. It's awesome. Your subconscious just wants to keep you alive. It doesn't care if you're happy. So you can have those limiting beliefs of lack or exhaustion and self-sabotage, self-hatred. Other people are better than me. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not whatever enough. All those limiting beliefs that no longer serve you, that you're like, yeah, this doesn't feel good. We're able to shift and change through theta healing downloads. So we essentially look at your subconscious mind as this like really updated laptop. So if you had a laptop like that, you would just download new stuff on it. You would check yes and download it. So in theta healing, all you have to do is say yes to receive those downloads so that you can shift where you're at to where you want to be very quickly. And I'm essentially the middleman between you and your higher power during these theta healing downloads. So I'm going to use higher power whenever I'm in group settings. I use higher power, but you can substitute in your head God, creator, source energy, the universe, spirit, angels, Buddha, whatever you want to call higher self, whatever you like as your particular verbiage of that, then you can substitute that in your head. And then you can just simply say yes. Sometimes people like to shut their eyes and breathe through that process. Sometimes people like to be very awake and alert of what's happening. It's totally up to you. All you have to do is say yes for these. And then I'll explain a little bit about muscle testing so that you can be empowered to do this yourself. You don't need to go to someone else to figure out what limiting belief that you have, to figure out and dig a little bit on what is happening in your life right now. Because some people only know the way to muscle test where your arms are like this and someone pushes, stays strong for yes or goes down for no. I like to teach people with their fingers because you can also do it kind of like off to the side so that people don't necessarily know what you're doing all the time. There's also the standing way. You can do that as well. So with your fingers, you can put your thumb and finger together and you essentially hold it with like the grip that you had if you had like a $20 bill that you don't want to blow away in the wind. So it's holding it together, but it's not like a workout where you're going to cut off your blood supply and never open it again. So if you need to picture a $1 bill, maybe do that too. So it works because your muscles know if you're saying a true statement to yourself or a false one. And when we lie to ourselves, our muscles get a little bit weaker and allows it to break. So when it breaks, that's our no. And when it stays strong, that's our yes. And then we're using these fingers just like our pliers to open it. And then if it stays strong, it's yes. Breaks, it's a no. So you can hold it this way or that way. You can do it whatever way. I'm just going to turn it this way so you guys can see it for illustration purposes. So you guys can say your full name first. So my name is Laura, and pull. So you guys can say your name. You want to make sure that that stays strong. So my name is Laura, it stays strong, it stays closed. And if I say my name is Jack, it breaks. So you guys can try that with a name that is not yours. My name is Jack, and it breaks. So is that working for everyone? There's also the standing way. If you're ever not sure how to muscle test, you can also just stand up, have your feet kind of hip distance apart, be centered, feel grounded. Sometimes shutting your eyes helps. So just everyone can shut their eyes, take a deep breath. And say out loud, show me a yes. And just notice how your body moves. And then you can get centered again. Take another really deep breath with your eyes shut. And say out loud, show me a no. Just notice how your body moves that way. Because I love for people to know how to do this themselves. Because then if you're at like a health food store or bookstore or crystal shop, you could like muscle test, this is the next best product for my healing journey, and get a little bit more ideas around that. Or if you're like noticing that the universe is showing you like people fighting all of the time and you're like, people weren't fighting like 2 weeks ago, like why are like 3 times people are just like doing this stuff, like there's arguments now. And you can like muscle test, it's time for me to heal anger and see if that's a yes. And then it's like, okay. So like anger is the next best step on your healing journey to resolve or heal or work through or do the inner work on whatever it is that's coming up for you, so that you can go to a healer and be like, hey, this is what's coming up for me, or do some journaling or meditation on it, or do whatever you need to move forward and know that you have the skill and ability to do that. But also know it's your subconscious limiting beliefs, because sometimes people are like, ooh, this is like the new thing that I'm going to like run my entire life on. This will muscle test your subconscious limiting beliefs. So if you have fears in there that are going to hold you back from like your happiest life, then you will muscle test from that fearful energy. So like some people are like, ooh, should I like, and also don't ask it a question. It's a statement and you get a yes or no to. But unfortunately, I've seen people who are like, should I quit my job? Should I break up with my boyfriend? Should I go on this dating site? And it's like, that's not what muscle testing is for. You can't ask it a question. That's not what it's for. But we can also dive deeper into that later if you guys want to. So I'm also going to give you guys some success stories just because I've noticed it helps people to really see themselves in it and to be like, okay, this can help me. Because unfortunately, sometimes people have a little bit of that old story of like, this isn't going to work for me. Other things haven't worked for me. What's going to make this different? And I just want to open up your mind a little bit more to be like, it works for other people. It worked for me. I'm not different or special. It works for me. It works for my clients. It will work for you. Just get in that energy of like, yes, of course this is going to work for me. The past was the past, and I'm in a different version of myself than I was then. And this is, of course, going to work for me. So my beautiful friend and client, she became a friend after we were working together. She does the kind of paint and sip spiritual. Well, we did spiritual paint nights together, but Create Over Cocktails, she does like paint and sip kind of events. So when she first met me, she was in a similar program as this that, yeah, I think she says in here what workshop she was in, but a workshop similar to this that started her on her journey. So she said, I had been feeling really run down, discouraged, and stuck when I first heard of Laura McPhee, happiness coach and healer. Attending her Live Your Happiest Life workshop was one of the best investments I've ever made. I experienced an immediate shift in my mindset, and I quickly signed up for private theta healing sessions, which I loved going to. Laura was able to help me out of a really dark time. Within a short space of time, Laura has helped me to change my thinking, heal old wounds, clear my junk and baggage, and feel lighter, more hopeful, and happier. I feel like my dreams were possible again and achievable without stretching myself too thin in the process. I love how Laura combines theta healing for my subconscious with practical techniques for my still learning conscious mind. I also feel she's the perfect fit for me as she specializes in people pleasers, perfectionists, and workaholics. Laura is patient, kind, and really amazing at what she does and as a person. I would highly recommend her to anyone who wants to lead a happier, healthier life. And then just for theta healing sessions, not off a workshop or anything, just for these theta healing downloads that we are going to do tonight, Kelly said, during my theta healing sessions with Laura, she helped me to get to the root of a few issues that had caused me anxiety, worry, and stress. She was kind, knowledgeable, and a great listener. I felt comfortable during the sessions, and I left feeling lighter and in a positive frame of mind. Afterwards, I saw shifts in how I reacted to situations, which meant less stress and a happier life. I recommended her to my friends. She's fantastic. Now we're going to get into the bulk of it, the 5 simple steps. So again, that's self-love and self-care, having an attitude of gratitude, having healthy boundaries, and assertiveness skills. So self-love, I feel, is the most important one to start with as a framework, because when we love ourselves, we're truly able to have more time and energy to do the other things and to build on that. So that's what I started with in my journey. So several years ago, I was watching a documentary and I wasn't super happy in my life, and I was ready to shift and change things. I was like sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, that kind of energy. And she said on this documentary that her patients actually healed quicker and faster and better when she went through this and had her patients say, I love you to themselves. So I was like, okay, I don't care how weird this feels, doing this in the mirror, looking at the mirror and saying, I love you to myself, I'm going to do it. I'll do it for 21 days and see how that works. And I actually built a habit into my life of saying, I love you. So instead of looking at myself in the mirror and being like, you're so ugly, oh my God, your hair is so frizzy, and you have this pimple, and you don't know how to do your makeup right, and your concealer looks like this, and blah, 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 this is streaking, and like, oh, that outfit looks terrible, and like, of course no one's attracted to you, and blah, 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 like that downward spiral of negative things that my voice would say to me all the time. I was able to clear that and replace it, change that neural pathway in my head to I love you. So I really encourage you guys to start that as a new habit. Just look at yourself in the mirror. So if you brush your teeth every morning or at night or put moisturizer on your face, whatever activity that you're already doing, you can build a habit easier when you attach a new habit onto an existing one. So I really encourage you to marry it to something you're already doing every single day, just so that it's easier to build up, and do it for a while until that negative voice is replaced and I love you is at the forefront, because you can do it. And now whenever I look at myself in my reflection, so whenever I'm washing my hands or just walk by a mirror, my voice now says, I love you, I'm absolutely incredible, I deserve outstanding things. Because over time, I've also married in affirmations to it as well. So that I have my own internal best friend and cheerleader that's supporting me through my life. And there's been numerous times in my life where I've like push myself way outside my comfort zone. A big one that shocked me was when I was at Tony Robbins' Life and Wealth Mastery this summer. You have to like climb like a 50-foot pole and then jump off of it. And the mantra that they had given us that morning was like, what's your next step? And right before it, I was like, okay, what's my next step? That's how I'll do it. And like the top of it is like a little plate that you have to like stand on. And like that was super nerve-wracking for me because I have size 10 feet. I'm tall. So I was like, I don't understand how I'm going to lift my foot up onto like a teeny little surface, super high in the air, and just like get myself up there. So literally, as I was doing that, the voice that came through was, I can do this. I can do this. And I didn't have to like super do that mantra that they gave us in the morning. Like I have from experience, because I have little Post-its up all over my house that told me that I can do this, that I love myself, that I am outstanding, and that I can do hard things. So having Post-its up is really supportive as well. So you start remembering it. I also really like putting reminders in my cell phone so that it goes off. So it'll go off as an alarm in the morning, or that it'll go off when I'm done work, just to remind me to shift and change my mindset. When I used to be in the accounting world, I literally had Outlook reminders that would have these positive things saying, I love you, I'm getting better and better every day in every way, or inhale peace, exhale love, all these different things that supported my mindset so that I was more loving and accepting and gentle to myself. So that positive mindset was supporting me. And it's so important to know that anything you say after I am is creating your life. So you want to make sure you're saying those positive things and that you also know your strengths. Because unfortunately, especially women, we can easily name all our failures, all the things that we're bad at, our weaknesses. But it's important to value our strengths, to know how to just list off all the things that we're great at so that we can compliment ourselves and celebrate ourselves and acknowledge ourselves for all the things that are incredible in our life right now and that we're doing so well at. And cultivating this positive mindset will really support you in these next steps that we're going to do. So in adding more self-care and adding healthy boundaries into your life, because when you love yourself and have that positive voice in your head, you're more nurturing and caring and compassionate to yourself. You're your own best friend. You're your own cheerleader. Then that's more nourishing and helpful for you to make other positive changes in your life. And it does make you happier just by doing that. So we're going to do some theta healing downloads. So we're going to start by muscle testing to see where you're at. So you can repeat after me. I love myself, and then pull. So it'll either stay strong or it'll break, and we're not judging it. We're just letting go any of those judgments. We just want the awareness that we can shift and change this. So you can also muscle test. I can be my own best friend, and I celebrate my successes. And if you don't have those, that's totally cool. That's why we're doing the theta healing downloads. So all you have to do is say yes. So do you want to break and release any cords, contracts, commitments, vows, and obligations that have prevented you from loving yourself, that have prevented you from being your own best friend or celebrating your successes or being your own cheerleader on this journey, and that you know who you are and what your life looks like, truly loving yourself unconditionally, receiving unconditional love from others, and knowing fully and completely what your life looks like when you are your own best friend, when you prioritize the relationship you have to yourself, and that you can be more healthy and nurturing in your life and in your mindset, and that you can celebrate your successes big and small. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And you want to know through your higher power how you can deepen the connection you have with your true authentic self, that you can move in inspired action towards your next comfortable baby step, that you can grow and expand your comfort zone in this life, and that you know what it looks like and feels like to become the happiest and healthiest version of yourself. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And you want to know that you are completely worthy and deserving, and that it's your birthright to love yourself. It's your birthright to receive love from your higher power, from your loved ones, from your friends and family, and from the world. And that you can be in a state and being of love, and that you can remember your truth, that you are love, that your being, your soul is love, and that you can express that in the ways that are authentic and true to you. And if you would like that, you can say yes. Then we can muscle test those again. So you can say out loud, I love myself, and pull. I can be my own best friend, and pull. I celebrate my successes, and pull. And this is also programmed into the recording so that anyone who's catching the replay, this works well for you as well, because whenever you're watching this, this is your present moment. Then we're going to get into self-care, and that is so important because when we take care of our body, then we have more energy to do the other things as well. So that's why it's number 2. And it can look like so many different things. It can be as easily as drinking a little bit more water a day. So you need to drink half your body weight in ounces of water every single day, a little bit more if you're working out hard or if you're like a marathon runner, but then you probably have better tools already to like eat healthy food and do the things you need to. So it's nourishing your body in the ways that feel good for you. And I used to be a huge picky eater, so I get it. Sometimes taking that next baby step is being like, I'm going to try this one food. I'm going to add this new thing into my life for this month and building slowly on that. So it can be simply removing one sugary item from your life and adding in a positive one. Maybe having one less drink of coffee in your life and moving forward and drinking a little bit more tea or water. So it can literally be making those better choices. So choosing a salad instead of a hamburger and making those better choices over time will build your health and your wellness. And when you feel better, you'll want to make those better choices. Also, getting out in nature is really awesome. Breathing in fresh air, working out your body in the way that you feel called to. So if that's running, or if you're into weightlifting, or if you're into yoga, or any of the like Zumba classes, all the different workout classes that you can have, or just watching videos online, just putting that into Google. Those things that make you feel better and that move your body. It can be literally as simple as going up the stairs at work or getting off a floor earlier than you normally would and walking up the rest of the way. So moving your body is super important just because our body is meant to move, and it's helpful to move the lymph in our body as well. So even 30 minutes of walking a day is super productive. Also, sunshine is really awesome. We're made to live outdoors. So having fresh air, you don't need to like actually live outdoors, but getting fresh air is important. And having mindfulness practices that you have to keep your mind and body healthy is really important as well. So just breathing, doing some breath work is really important, especially if you're stressed out. Sometimes just taking a deep breath. Can be really helpful for you. And most times people notice, oh, my shoulders dropped. And they're like, I've been going around all day like this, because you like tend to crunch up being on computers all day long. So even doing basic stretches is really important for that as well. Doing meditation, connecting to your higher power in whatever way you'd like to, doing yoga, Tai Chi. There's so many different practices that you can get into that really fuel your body and support you on this journey. If you do have a healing modality like Reiki, doing that on yourself. I got Reiki for myself when I was in 2016, just so that I could heal and support my body. So whatever ways that you need to move forward on your journey, that'll be supportive for you. And then doing things that are fun for you is really awesome self-care. So prioritizing the things that you want to do for fun, prioritizing your play. So that could be reading your favorite book. So you could even look back to when you were a child. What did you love to do then? What were your like favorite things to do before someone told you that you're not going to make money at it or that that's a waste of time? So take time for those hobbies and passions that you have. It's also super important to get the rest that you need. Unfortunately, we're in the culture of sleep deprivation. So you can need from anywhere from 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That'll be different for everyone's body, so you can experiment with that. Or just giving yourself a nap. If you're like, I have a really hectic life, I'm a mom, I'm busy, maybe you just need a nap and need to like tap out for your husband and be like, I just need to have a nap for half an hour. Whatever you need to rejuvenate your body in the moment. I also really love this one, which is treating yourself. You don't need someone else outside of you to buy you that special chocolate, or you don't have to like beg your husband for flowers. You can get the things that you want and desire that nourish your body, that make you feel really good about your environment. And again, it's not going off the extreme. Like I like specialty chocolate every once in a while, but I'm not going to buy it every single day. So finding those things that really make you feel like, ooh, this is like a special gift for myself, that makes me feel really awesome and more joyful and happy. So this is not selfish. I wish I could like erase the myth of society that self-care is selfish, because you can't serve from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have. If you're only loving yourself at like 70%, you can only give that at like 70% to other people in your life. And like you're on an airplane, they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you help anyone else, because you literally can't help someone from a deprived state, not in the way that you can when you have an overflowing cup. And over time, if I had continued on my track, I know for certain that I would have eventually gotten sick in my life. And that's what unfortunately happens to some caregivers later in life when they get disease, they get breast cancer or heart disease or whatever, and then they need other people to take care of them because they've run their body into the ground. And unfortunately, there's a lot of other psychological stuff that happens then, because then they don't have their identity as a caregiver anymore, and they can't do the things that they've always done. So long-term, it's very unhealthy. It's so important to be like, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and prioritize your self-care right now. And also, you are literally leading by example when you do this. So the people in your life, your children, your grandchildren, are going to learn these things by you doing it, not by you telling them to do and then not actually doing it yourself. So I really encourage you to prioritize yourself and to create those rituals in your life so that you do one little thing at a time different. So that you're like, okay, now when I wake up in the morning, I do some yoga, I drink water, I do the things that nourish my body, instead of the old way where I'd get up and put everyone else first or check into my email and immediately go into everyone else's needs and not even check into my own needs or my own body. So we're going to do muscle testing again. So you can repeat with me. I am healthy, and pull. I nourish my body, and pull. I take time to work on myself, and pull. So do you want to know through your higher power how you can be healthy, how you can be fit, and how you can move in inspired action towards your next best step on your health and wellness journey and on your spiritual journey, so that you can truly nourish your body, so that you can carve out time for yourself, that you can prioritize time for yourself, that you can invest in yourself in the ways that you desire, and that you can move forward on your journey knowing that you're always being watched over, protected, and kept safe by your higher power, and so that you can tune into and feel those intuitive nudges, that gut feeling of like, this is for me, this is like my yes, I need to do this, versus something that isn't necessarily good for you, and that you know through your higher power to discern those different feelings and circumstances in your life. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And you can repeat after me again. So I'm healthy, full, I nourish my body, I take time to work on myself. Then we're going to get into gratitude, which gratitude is one of my favorites because there's so many things that we can be grateful for. You can literally point at anything in your life and be grateful for it. So if you're feeling in that low vibration state, changing your state really easily is being grateful for something. When we change our expectations for appreciation, our life changes. I love that quote from Tony Robbins. So literally, you can look around your life and be like, I'm so grateful for the air that I'm breathing. I'm grateful that I have this computer or laptop that I'm watching this on and getting free advice. I'm grateful for my friends and my loved ones. And if you're really wanting financial abundance, which in that Be Your Best Self group, someone was talking about some financial healing downloads, focusing on the things that are around you that are already abundant is incredible. So if you go over and turn on your water tap, you can have an infinite supply of water. So you can be grateful for the abundance of water in your life, which there are people in this world who literally kill for water. So you can be so grateful for water. You can be so grateful for free healthcare if you're in Canada. You can be grateful that you have an infinite supply of oxygen. You're not worried that your next breath isn't going to be here. Yet, unfortunately, we're societally kind of programmed to be worried about our next paycheck. But we know that our next breath is there, and that's a whole lot more important. We're going to die if we don't have our next breath. Versus whatever about money. It's not as important as a priority as breathing. So you can shift your focusing your awareness to the things that you are grateful for, because love is the highest vibration and gratitude is right underneath it. So that really raises your vibration to have a gratitude practice in your life. And I really encourage you, again, to attach it to something that you're already doing every day. So you have a coffee or tea in the morning or drink of water, whatever you do, have a little gratitude moment with it. Be like, I'm so grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for this warm beverage. I'm grateful for my loved ones. I'm grateful for myself. One that I really love doing is I'm grateful for everything in my body, even when sometimes life gets hard or things aren't working well. Even when I started my journey when I was miserable at work, I literally focused on every little body part that I could think of and name, and I focused on why I'm grateful for it. Because right now, I have all 10 fingers and toes. If I didn't have one of those, I'm sure I would be miserable about it. I would not be in as happy of a state as I am right now, having the full capacity to use my hands. So shifting your mindset to those grateful things is very important to have a happier life for sure. And I also really love expressing my gratitude to other people. And it's very interesting because when I started doing that, I would get it back. So it's that like give, receive flow of the universe that just happens normally. And it wouldn't necessarily be from that exact same person. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But I noticed the more grateful I was for the people in my life, the more I had gratitude coming back to me. So it's very fun to be in that energy. So we'll do some more muscle testing. I am grateful. I see all the abundance. I see the abundance in my life. Jumping ahead here. I see all the blessings around me. So then you want to know through your higher power how you can tune into that grateful energy, how you can see the blessings around you, how you can see the abundance in your life, how you can be more thankful for the people in your life, for your current experiences, and how you can be excited and blessed for the current masterpiece that you are, while also being excited for the work in progress that you are and the new things that you're moving towards, and that you can be thankful in advance for those things. And if you would like that, you can say yes. Do you want to clear and release any old baggage, trauma or soul trauma around not having the things that you expected in your life, of life not going the way that you had planned, of any big obstacles in your life that prevented you from moving forward, on perceived failures, that you can clear and release those hardships in your life so that you can truly, through your higher power, see the lessons that you were learning through that you can now have those lessons marked as complete, and that you can move forward being grateful for everything that's happened in your life because it's made you who you are today and brought you to where you are in this world, so that you can shift and change any old negative perceptions or stories that you had around that, any old negative meanings you had for certain situations, so that you can see through your higher power and have the wisdom, truth, clarity, and understanding you need to around those situations and around yourself now, to understand that everything is always working out for you, everything happened for a reason, and that everything will work out for the best. And if you would like that, you can say yes. Then you can muscle test those again. I am grateful, and pull. I see all the blessings around me, and pull. I see the abundance in my life, and pull. So is that working for everyone? Let me know if these aren't going through fully, and we can always go a little bit deeper. Then we're going to get into boundaries, which is super important. And unfortunately, people tend to perceive boundaries as this like negative thing that you have to like create separation from people or like cut people out of your life. And that isn't necessarily what boundaries are about. So I like to shift and change people's perspective that, for example, if you had a beautiful field of flowers that you didn't want people to walk on, you would just simply put up a fence. So you're communicating to the rest of the world, like, I'm growing beautiful flowers here, please don't step on it. So sometimes simply communicating what your standards are to people will shift and change their behavior. And unfortunately, we tend to make it bigger in our head than what it actually is. So sometimes just getting really clear on what our standards are and communicating that to people is helpful. So for example, if you have people calling you after 10 o'clock at night and you're like, oh, it's like disturbing my system, and like I was trying to get ready for bed and all these things are happening, you can literally just communicate you know what? After 9 o'clock, I'm really starting to wind down my day. So could you please call me earlier than that? Or call me at 8 at the latest. Have those ways that you can communicate to different people, because that'll support you. And then I find that a lot of my people pleasers, and I used to do this too, will say yes, and they're really thinking no. So there's a lot of different steps that you can take to do that. And one of them is simply saying yes and putting in your new standard. So for example, with Christmas holidays and birthdays and anniversaries, those tend to be hectic and crazy times, yet they come in advance. We know when the next birthday is going to be. We know when anniversaries are years in advance. So we can have a little bit better planning on that, just so that people aren't feeling so like hectic and like overwhelmed during last minute things. So you can say, yes, I would love to help you with this party. I'm free an hour beforehand. What can I help you with an hour beforehand? Instead of someone's like, oh, I need you to bake the cake and do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. You can be like, yes, I would love to support the anniversary party. Of course, this is so exciting. I can help you a week beforehand and I can make the cake, and like have specific boundaries around what you need to do. Maybe you need to know a month in advance to get all the things that are super special for all this like special thing that you make for the cake or for whatever your thing is that you do. Maybe you need a little bit more time in advance to make time to get the ingredients and the stuff that you need, and then actually have time to do it the week of, so that you're not skipping your workout or eating junk food, fast food, and putting off your sleep to get this done and prioritizing other people's stuff before your stuff. So there's so many different steps that I walk people through a little bit deeper, but that one tends to be a very productive one, to still say yes, but just put your boundary on it. Eventually you can move towards no with your new standard. And you can also just say no. You don't need to explain to every single person why or why not you're doing something. No is a complete and full sentence. So we can do some muscle testing again. And you can say out loud, I have healthy boundaries. I can say no to people and pull. I feel okay saying no to people and pull. So do you want to release and let go of the times in your life where you felt like you couldn't speak your mind, you couldn't have a boundary, you couldn't establish boundaries, you couldn't speak your truth, or that you were frustrated in how people treated you? Do you want to clear and release those completely in all levels? And we'll cut the cords, contracts, commitments, vows, and obligations that were holding you to that, and any other toxic attachments. We'll clear those completely in all levels now, and we will resolve it on a history level if you want to say yes. And you want to know through your higher power what lessons you were learning through these different events and circumstances, that those lessons are now marked as complete, and that you can forgive yourself completely in all levels for any roles or responsibilities you played in that, and forgive anyone else who put you in that environment or situation as well, that you can forgive for your benefit. So you don't have to like go outside and like say hi and like forgive them. You're just forgiving them now. You're releasing that energy from yourself and your body so that you can move forward to the present moment. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And would you like to release any and all other pressure, burdens, weight, responsibilities that you've put on yourself or feel others have put on you? And if you'd like that, you can say yes. And you want to know through your higher power what your life looks like and feels like, and that it's completely safe on all levels to have healthy boundaries, to express your truth, to say no, to feel okay saying no, and to feel good about what you're saying yes to. And that by saying no, you're creating more space for your like super excited yeses. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And we can muscle test those again. I have healthy boundaries. I can say no to people. I feel okay saying no to people. Awesome. How's that doing for everyone? Awesome. And then we're going to get into assertive communication. And the first time I heard of assertiveness, I didn't know what it was. So I've always put in a definition to explain it to anyone else. So it's an honest, direct, and appropriate expression of one's thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. So unfortunately, there's different communication styles, and they're not always the healthiest for people. So one is passive. I totally used to be that. It's when you're not expressing what you're truly thinking and feeling to other people. And you're saying yes when you really want to say no. It's that negative one where unfortunately it can build up over time where you're so passive and like people take advantage of you and walk all over you. And then you end up blowing up and people can get passive aggressive, or just people who are aggressive where they're mean or cruel or even abusive to people. So you don't want to choose those ways. That assertive communication will put you on the same page in a space that creates win-win situations for people so that everyone can know what you're actually thinking and feeling and create healthy relationships from that and more deeper relationships from that as well. So I statements are an incredible cool tool apparently is what I want to be saying, tool to help you on this. So instead of pointing a finger and saying like, you always do this or you never do that, side note, don't say always or never. People will be like, oh, that one time, and get like super defensive and be like, that one time I totally did take out the garbage. And that'll super escalate really quickly. So if you say an I statement, then it's expressing your truth. And if you say I feel, then no one can argue with that because how you're feeling isn't up for discussion. Like, that's your truth. This is how these things are making you feel. And it's been your life's experiences that create this feeling within you. So someone else can have the same things happen to them and not feel that way. And no one's a mind reader. So us expressing how this current situation is making us think or feel is very supportive for everyone involved. Because if you're feeling angry or upset or unloved or lonely or whatever, it's not necessarily always self-evident to the other person or people that you're feeling that way, especially if you're passive and you're covering it up. So expressing that to other people, they're not going to want you to feel angry or upset or unloved. So by letting them know how you're thinking and feeling, you're able to create those win-win situations. So especially if you use this when you're not feeling mad, this will be productive. And you can also choose to take a break whenever you're in a conversation that you're feeling is about to escalate, because that's an unproductive situation. And sometimes people say things that they can't take back. So you can say like, okay, we're going to pause here, or like, I'm not productive right now, or I need to go cool down and come back in a more resourceful state. So you can go take care of yourself, dance around, have a little bit of chocolate, whatever you need to, and then come back. And checking in is super important. So you could check in 10 minutes later if you said you needed about 10 minutes and be like, you know what? I'm still really tired. I'm still hangry. Like, maybe deciding where we're going to move isn't the best thing to do so late at night after like a busy time. Maybe you need to like create a very good environment so that you can come to the table in a more productive state on a weekend after you have the sleep that you need and after you've eaten. Or if it's just those little things, just check in and be like, okay, I'm still really frustrated by this. I'm going to keep doing a little bit of inner work on myself and come back when I'm a little bit better. So that might be an hour or two from now, but I'll come back. And then it's on you to actually come back, because suppressing these things and not dealing with it isn't healthy at all. So having this framework of I feel blank, when you blank, because blank is very supportive. So if you want to write this down, I've used this so much. It's very helpful for me, and it's helpful for my clients to really express how they're thinking and feeling. So an example that I give a lot is a husband and wife. So a wife could say, I feel really overwhelmed and unloved and blah, 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 when you come home and just watch TV, because I feel like you don't care about me. You'd rather watch the TV than spend time with me and the kids, because whatever story she's making up about it. Whereas the husband could be like, I'm just really stressed out from work and I don't want to take it out on you guys. So I just need a little bit of time to cool off and watch TV. And then I'm a better father and like husband to everyone. So if you come to that table being like, I love you and I really want our relationship to be good and I just need to share with you how I'm feeling, then you can use that framework and let your other loved ones know about this, like your partner and your friends and family, so that they can express this to you as well. So you guys can be getting what you each desire out of your relationships. So I feel blank when you blank, because blank is super supportive. That'll make you guys feel more deeply connected. You'll have that open communication. You can be more vulnerable with each other, so more courageous with each other, so that you guys are in a partnership, whether that be your partner or a friend or family or coworker. You can create better relationships by those I statements and explaining how you're actually feeling in these different environments. So we'll do a little bit more muscle testing. I am assertive. I can excuse myself from an argument. I can take time to cool down. So do you want to know through your higher power how you can be assertive, what assertiveness looks like, how you can break and release your old ties and identity to passive communication, to passive aggressive communication, or aggressive or even abusive communication, that you can break those completely on all levels and know who you are and what your life looks like being assertive, what your relationships look like, what your career looks like, and that you are worthy and deserving of being assertive, that you can take time for yourself, that you can, in those different situations, find the wording and phrases and move in inspired action to excuse yourself from a conversation that's escalating into an argument or even fights or negative situations or things where bad consequences could happen, and that you can move in inspired action to take time to cool down and give yourself what you need, that you can check into yourself at that time, to use deep breaths, to do self-care, to put on music, to do whatever you need to bring yourself back down to a productive state that is more beneficial for you. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And do you want to clear and release any other negative emotion and baggage around conflicts that you've had in the past, and fights and arguments and negative consequences you've suffered from having a poor communication skill? And if you would like that, you can say yes. And do you want to forgive yourself for treating other people in ways that you don't necessarily like, that you feel shameful or guilty about or bad about or remorseful about? And that you can release any resentment or jealousy or hatred or grudges that you have with other people in your life, that you can release that completely on all levels and move forward on your life and in your journey in a more loving state, and choosing to grow and expand your assertive toolbox. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And you want to know that it's completely safe on all levels to speak your truth. And you want to clear any blockages or imbalances within your throat chakra. And if you would like that, you can say yes. Then you can muscle test those again. I am assertive. I can excuse myself from an argument. I can take time to cool down. So how's that for everyone now? So I want to make sure that you guys can just know for yourselves that at any point in time, you can make the choice to choose to be happy right now. It is a choice. And I love the quote by Charles Swindoll, who says, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. So it's those stories and meanings that we put on what's happening in our life that makes us positive or negative. And you can choose happiness by having a self-care list ahead of time where you're like, I'm going to listen to music and do this and do that, and it's going to fill up my cup. Or you can do pet therapy or spend more time with your loved ones or your children, or like search on YouTube funny cat videos or America's Funniest Home Videos, like whatever you need to, and like create lists and playlists that will support you in actually being happier and changing your state to live a happier life. So we're going to do a couple more muscle tests. I am happy. I can be happier. I choose to be happy. I deserve to be happy. I can live my dream life. And you want to know through your higher power that you can have all this, that you can truly be happy, that you can be unconditionally happy, that you can be happy regardless of what's happening in your outside world, that you can have the happiness that you're desiring within yourself, that you can live your happiest life now, and that you know who you are and what your life looks like and your identity, being a happy person, that you can always be happier, that you can grow and expand yourself and be so grateful for the happiness that you have now, that you can choose happiness in any moment, that you deserve and are worthy, and that it's your birthright to be a happy human being, and that you can live your dream happy life now. And if you would like that, you can have all that by saying yes. And we can muscle test those again. I am happy. I can be happier. I can choose to be happy. I deserve to be happy. I can live my dream happy life, or just I can live my dream life. How's that for everybody? Awesome. And then I want to touch a little bit on dream happy life. I try to condense as much stuff that I have from my other programs into this for you guys. So that's why sometimes I'm talking really fast, because I want to give you as much tools and strategies and ideas and healings that I can humanly possible. So a really awesome thing to get to your dream happy life is to create a be, do, have list, so you can actually move towards those things in your life now. So you're telling the universe what you're looking for. Because sometimes people are like, I just want to be happy. So then they have one thing on their to-do list, and then the universe is like, cool, I have time with them. I'm going to go over to this girl who has like 100 or 200 things on her list. We're going to start checking things off there. Because sometimes people wait their whole life to be happy. And then late in their life, they're finally happy and wish that they could have been sooner. So your be, do, have list is your dream happy life, categorized into these separate sections. So be is how you are as a human being. So you want to be happy and healthy and fulfilled and excited and playful and adventurous and sexy and joyful and intelligent and adventurous and like outgoing and super friendly, and whatever your desires are for who you are as a human being, that's your be. So if you want to be like super positive and excited and joyful, those things are in the be category. Then do is the things that you want to do. So do you want to travel? Do you want to go on more dates with your husband or your loved one? Do you want to spend more time on dinners and going to the theater and really see the beauty that is this world? Do you want to go on more road trips? Do you want to open a business? Do you want to contribute to charities more? Do you want to volunteer your time at these different things? What do you truly want to do in this world? And then have. That can be kind of materialistic if you want to perceive it that way. Or you can just be like, I want a safe car. I want to have financial freedom. I want to have financial security. I want to have a really cozy house. I want to have a really relaxing bedroom. I want to have a massage chair. I want to have a spending budget for more self-care. I want to have monthly massages and colonic treatments and chiropractic appointments and all these different things. What do you want to have in your life? I want an organic personal chef. I want a cottage with an ocean view. What do you want to have in your dream happy life list? And all these things that are on your heart are individual to you. Your higher power, be that God, creator, source energy, the universe, gave you these dreams and desires when you were born because they're here for you. And when they were put on you, the path to get them was also given to you. So you just need to move in that inspired action to get there. You weren't given these dreams and desires to feel disappointed and resentful and remorseful throughout your life. That's not why we're here. You were given these things because you can achieve them. You just need to get onto the path that will support you in getting them. So you want to make this list when you're in a really joyful, happy, excited state. So you might want to do a little bit of self-care beforehand. So you can write this list in a positive frame of mind. Just don't do it, be like, oh my God, life sucks. I'm on my period. Oh my God, maybe I should do that homework that Laura says that I should do. Don't do it in that state. Do it in a little bit more of a positive, happy state, just because those things will be brought to you in that positive energy instead of like that, like, fuck life. Well, maybe I should do something because I was told to do something because I have to do it. Like, don't do it in that energy. And you can start working on it in little bits and pieces if you want. If you're like, I want to put 50 things and be and do and have and grow my list to like all the things that I desire, that's super awesome too. It's your list, your journey, however you want to do it. Then we're going to do a little bit more muscle testing so we can get all the healings that will support you in doing this. So you can muscle test. I know what my dream life looks like. And pull. I can get to my dream life with ease and joy, and pull. I know what steps to take to get to my dream life, and pull. So do you want to clear and release any old weight, pressure, responsibility, guilt, and disappointment around not having what you want in your life now, your perceived failures and lack and shortcomings and scarcity mindset, that you can release and let go of those now? And if you would like that, you can say yes. And do you want to release the burdens and pressure and cut the cords, contracts, vows, commitments, and obligations that held you to survival mode, that prevented you from going too far outside your comfort zone or too far away from what you have always had as your norm, and expand you to the place where you are ready to make those comfortable baby steps outside your comfort zone, that you can begin to expand and grow yourself and feel through your higher power what your gut feeling is for you, so that you can take those leaps of faith when you need to, so that you can move in inspired action as you feel called to, and that you can begin to see the doors of opportunity that have always been there for you, and that you can begin to have the courage and bravery and strength needed to move forward on your journey towards your dream happy life. And if you'd like that, you can say yes. And you want to know that it's safe to express your dream happy life. That you can do so without feeling guilty, or that you're wanting too much, or that you're not showing that you're grateful enough for what you have because you're wanting these things over here too. And that you can know through your higher power the clarity that you need of what your dream happy life looks like. And that you can obtain it through ease, speed, grace, joy, and love instead of hardship, pain, or suffering. That you can choose to learn in those positive ways instead of old negative ways. And that you know how to move in that inspired action towards the path of least resistance that you can take to get to your dream happy life. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And you want to deepen the connection to your true authentic self and to your higher self and your higher power, so you can feel completely safe on all levels moving forward on this journey, and trusting and knowing and deepening your faith and surrender that everything is working out for you for your highest and best good and optimal health, and that you're always being divinely protected, kept safe and secure. And if you would like that, you can say yes. Awesome, that feels so much better for people. So we'll get you to muscle test again. I know what my dream life looks like. I get to my dream life with ease and joy. I know what steps to take to get to my dream life. And how's that for you guys? And we're going to integrate those changes so I can offer you guys a general healing for anything else that's ready to be healed in your body right now, and fill you up with your higher powers, unconditional love, compassion, joy, and happiness, so you can feel lighter, more relaxed, more at peace, more present, more connected to your higher self and to your higher power, so that you can truly be in alignment and vibrationally and at the correct frequency like that you need for your cells to be in, for you to be happier now. And if you would like that, you can say yes. And then you guys can take a couple deep cleansing breaths. You can just check into your body, see how you're feeling with all that shifting. Sometimes move your body around a little bit. If you've been feeling a lot of energy, sometimes you'll feel temperature changes or tingles. So you might want to move your body a little bit, shake it out. So I want you guys to think what your next steps are. What one thing can you start doing? So is that dream happy life list? Will you keep doing that after we end this call today? what is your next steps on your journey? And I want you to commit to your action steps, because unfortunately, most people will watch a webinar, never do anything with that knowledge. So I don't want that to be you. I want you to have a happier life now, truly. So I want you guys to take a moment and commit to your next action step. Even if you just need to write down, like, I commit to more self-care, and that's your commitment. Or I commit to drinking more water. Or I commit to saying I love you to myself. I commit to establishing this boundary with this person who's been whatever to you. So commit to those steps that will actually continue to support you in being your happiest self right now. Have that commitment for you. It's not for me. I'm not going to see it. You don't have to be like, hey, Laura, I did this commitment to myself. Unless you want to. I love it when people commit and also tell me. But you can have these commitments just for yourself, because that's what will support you on your journey. And if you're feeling called to working with me as your next step, I have a beautiful group coaching and healing program that I'm super excited to be launching, and it's called Living Your Happiest Life. So I'm so excited that I felt called to do this. I did a similar program in spring of this year, and it was 6 weeks, and I had beautiful women in it, and they had awesome transformations from it. And some of them even got more certifications and became a light worker. Some of them went forward on their businesses. Like, it was beautiful to see their transformations. They made friends from it. Like, it was an incredible group, and I'm super excited that I was called to do that again at this time, so that people could be supported if they were like, fuck, I made resolutions like I do every year, and it's the end of 2018 and I'm the same as I've been, and they're frustrated and they're tired of living their life like this, and they're tired of being exhausted and not happy, not have the quality of relationships that they want. I'm like, it breaks my heart to see people who are living in a state that I used to live in, where I'm like, I can help you. And I get that not everyone's ready for different next steps at different times. Like, everything is divinely connected and supported. But if you're feeling called to moving forward on your journey, and you're like, I just need some accountability and support, and having a group of like-minded people would be so amazing, and learning these lessons and getting the healings that I need to as I move forward, that feels good for me, then I'd love to share this information with you guys so you have an opportunity to move forward if you feel called to with me. I always loved whenever mentors and teachers that I was working with were like, this is your next step. I'm like, yes, I don't have to go like out into the like universe and try to figure it out myself. This is my next step. Awesome. So if that's what you're feeling called to, if you're like, your next step is with me in a community format, then I'd love to share this information with you guys about the program. So it is going to be a similar 6-week program. It'll be done over video conference, just like this call was done over Zoom today. And it's going to be all about what we've learned about tonight. Those 5 simple yet profound steps that when you take them and implement them into your life, you will live a happier life. Guaranteed, you will be transformed and happier from taking and implementing these steps in your life. So self-love, self-care, an attitude of gratitude, healthy boundaries, and assertiveness. Implementing these in your life is so powerful. So the calls will be on Thursday evening and Sundays at 7:30 Atlantic, which is 6:30 Eastern. And it's going to start soon. It's starting this week, because I'm like, we need to get in this awesome energy to like really end 2018 on a high note and start 2019 in like this high vibration, momentous energy that'll like propel you into your best year yet. So it's starting this Thursday, November 29th, 7:30 is going to be our call, 6:30 Eastern. And the recordings will be available, because sometimes people are like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch every call. You don't need to. You can send in your questions just like the people did in the spring. They sent in their questions, their accountability check-ins beforehand. So if you can't catch it live, definitely you'll still benefit from this. I'll be able to see where you're at, do any healing energy and clearings that I need to from that, make sure I'm giving you any support, book recommendations, exercise recommendations that will move you forward every single week. And in that one, we literally just had one call. It was like anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. And they got their lessons. And then we did a little bit of kind of like a hot seat where everyone had their individual time with me during the call to be like, this is where I'm at. This is my accountability. These are the things that are coming up for me. This is what's preventing me. This is what I need some help with. So you have that space and time with me on that group call. So that's going to be included. And then I felt really called to like giving every single bit of value I could in this program. So I'm also going to be doing office hours. So it'll typically be the Sunday evenings. So that'll be at 7:30 and we'll run it for as long as we need. So if we come on and we have all these different questions and we need an hour, awesome. If we need 2 hours, awesome. I'm here to support you guys on your journey in whatever way that I can, so that if you're having a hard time making these changes in your life or finding the ways to carve these new habits into your life, you're like, I'm not fucking motivated and I have all this bullshit beliefs that are preventing me from doing it, help, that I will help and support you in those calls every single week to support you. So those aren't necessary. They weren't necessary for the people who were in the beginning program and they still got huge transformations. So if people are like, I don't have time for 2 calls a week, you can just go to the lesson calls every single week and you'll get incredible value from that. The additional calls of office hours is just for the people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm making healing progress in my life and like I feel alone or different, or like my family's interacting with me in this way and like it doesn't feel comfortable, and I feel like, unfortunately, people tend to feel alone when they're going forward on this journey, and they want to reach out and connect and know that what they're going through is normal and have the tools and resources and support and healing energy that they need to always be moving forward. So I'm super excited to be offering that as additional support to make sure that you guys are getting everything that you need and more, like extra buffer of like all the help and healing energy that you can get. I'm also going to be in the community doing live Facebook videos for anyone who has things that happen in between and they're like, oh my gosh, this came up and I feel called to do healing downloads and energy, or giving them just advice and tips and tricks and tools. Then I can also go live in that Facebook community for anything that's big that's coming up for people, or I could just like type in some quick recommendations or solutions depending on how big the issue is. So you guys will have access to me on a daily basis with me in that Facebook community as well. I am going to be going to Date with Destiny in December, so that's December 6th for almost a week. So I won't necessarily be as active in that Facebook community as I would like. So unfortunately, that was my ego mind being like, you can't help people out. You're going to be at Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. You're going to start your day at like 8 or 10 in the morning and run until 1 or 2 in the morning. Like they're huge, like 14 plus hour days, and we don't really get breaks. So I'm like, okay, how can I support people instead of listening to that ego voice, which has prevented me from helping people in the past? I was like, okay, Creator God, how do I help people then? And it was just like, we'll do guest experts. Like I have my Love and Light show. I have the best people in so many different fields and healing modalities that I've interacted with. Take the most awesome people from them and get them to help your community. Plus, you guys will get access to these coaches and healers who it would cost you hundreds and hundreds of dollars to see them differently in one-on-one or different or separate circumstances. So I was like, cool, I'll bring in these experts. They will support you while I'm gone for that week. I will check into the Facebook group as much as humanly possible when I'm gone, but I wanted to make sure you had zero gaps in your support, that you had people that were stepping in a high caliber way to support you on that journey. So I had Spirit Fox, so Shannon Edgett from Spirit Fox Wellness. She's coming in. She has 20 plus years of experience. She's a theta healer. She is a Reiki practitioner. She's a reader. She does card readings, tarot readings. She's a palmistry reader. She's a journalist. She's so many things. She has like credentials for so many things and so much experience. I've gone to her for mentorship in relationships. And as I move forward in my journey as a light worker, I've really used her as an incredible resource and mentor a lot on my journey. So she's running a full hour and a half class with you guys during our like self-love week. I'm going to do the self-love lesson with you guys on Sunday. So then she'll be supporting you guys on Thursday with even deeper information and understanding on that. If there's anything that's coming up for you guys energetically around that, or you're having any difficulties, she can give you all the theta healing downloads around that as well and dig deeper and support you in that way. So then the following Sunday after that, we'll have Whitley Jane from Skype. So she is an amazing visionary and a speaker and a coach for women, and she loves empowering women in that sisterhood of Skype network community. And she has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women in there, and she's led women in sisterhoods and groups, and it's beautiful and so exciting to have her there to talk about happiness and self-love and self-care as well. She'll be there to answer your questions, make sure that you guys are moving forward on your journey, that you don't have anything that's preventing you from moving forward, so that all these people are just continuously guiding you and supporting you to make sure you're always making that next baby step when you need help and support. I'm also doing a special episode with Robin from Robin's Healing. She'll be going live in our Facebook community. She's a Reiki master teacher, so she's going to be doing Reiki healings for anyone who needs that extra boost and support. You can watch that. She's also going to be live in the group, so anyone who attends that session on Tuesday evening at 7:30 Atlantic, 6:30 Eastern will also get a card reading. So if you have anything that's coming up or questions that you're like, ooh, I would like a little bit more information, she's incredibly intuitive. Again, I've gone to her multiple occasions. I've been like literally shocked about how accurate she is on things. She's literally called me and been like, do you want to just reschedule this? You seem to be in a really like stressful energy right now. And I'm like, hi, yeah, I was kind of stressed out. So like, she is unbelievably intuitive, and she's been on the mark for so many things. And I've gotten readings from her and gotten healings from her and reflexology treatments and Reiki treatments and Reiki attunements. So there's so many beautiful things that she's here to offer us extra help and support with as well. So I'm like ultra excited for all of these coaches and healers that are supporting us during that week. So every single week we are going to have different intention settings, so goals that we're moving forward, so that we're making those baby steps and hitting them and celebrating them and being so excited as we're moving forward and making that progress that we need to. So you'll have that accountability. I will make sure that you're moving forward every single week. I will check in with you. We are making sure that whatever your goal is, that it's a manageable one. So that first night, that first Thursday on November 29th, we're doing an introduction. So everyone's going to say who they are, what's going on with them, what goals we have. We're going to break it down into your baby steps and make sure that every single week you're being held accountable to making sure that you're moving forward. So if you're like, do you know what? I have a couple weeks that are really busy. It is during the holidays and you don't want to have like crazy goals during those couple weeks. We will make it manageable so that at the beginning we're like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. Doesn't mean you're going to like read a book every single week. You don't have to have like huge audacious goals during every check-in. Nor like, do you need to have a big audacious goal compared to someone else? Like, you can literally have your own individual goal, and I will make sure that you're making the progress that you need to accomplish it as we move forward together during the 6 weeks, that you are making progress every single week, big or small. That's depending on you. If you're like, I really want to do this one thing, I want to make sure that by the end of 6 weeks, I'm drinking 3 bottles of water because that's what my body needs. We will make sure that every single week you are drinking water, you are drinking more water, that in the first week you drink X water, second week X+1 water, that you are doing that baby step by baby step so that that's working for you regardless of where you're at on your journey. So again, that Facebook community is going to be for women only. Sorry guys. I do have some digital programs that I could help men with, but this group program is for like-minded women, so you guys can have that sisterhood and community and connection that you need to people who are like-minded, who are moving forward on their goals, who are creating their dream happy lives. So you have people who get it, who think the same way as you. And it's literally priceless to have friends like that. When I started my journey in 2015, I joined an MLM at the time to get that group community of people who understood it, who like personal development. So I paid like, I think $160 a month to just be around people who are like-minded, who are doing at least 10 minutes of personal development a day. So I understand the value of being like the people that you surround yourself with, because I was surrounded by a ton of people who are type A and perfectionists, people pleasers, and burning themselves out. So that's what I was like. So then I expanded my group to people who are into personal development, who love themselves, who took self-care as like a very important thing. And I became like them. We become like the 5 people that we spend the most amount of time with. So I love and get so excited when I have these groups, like the women who were in the spring group, this like version that we're doing here. I still see to this day them comment on each other's Facebook posts and be so excited and like interact with each other. And it's just so amazing and beautiful and heartwarming to see that they've made these long-lasting connections with each other. So my wish and intention is for us to create that same environment and container in this group, so that you guys have new friends and people to even be your own buddies and accountability partners beyond the 6-week group that will support you on your journey. So I'm super excited for that. I'm also going to do special exclusive healings, sound healings, light language healings for you guys that other people aren't going to get. I love randomly doing card readings too. So before I do that publicly, I'll make sure anytime I feel called to doing a reading, I make sure that we do that in the group exclusively for you. I'll give you guys a heads up when these things are happening live. There will be like some recorded light language things that aren't just like for a minute like I've done it in the past. I'll make sure that like the sound healing through the throat chakra singing bowl, the crystal singing bowl, that I'll do an extended version of that for you guys so that you have literally everything that you need to within this container to support you, and you'll have access to all these videos and all this content for forever. So again, if you're like, I can't watch that in the moment, you can have access to watch it whenever you want to in 2019 or beyond. So there's so many benefits that people get from these group experiences. So really, whatever your goal or intention is from this, I want to make sure that you're getting the benefit and result that you're desiring. So if you're not really sure if this is the best fit for you, definitely get on a clarity call with me to make sure that we can dive into this a little bit deeper to make sure that this is the best fit for you. I've never sold anything to anyone, and I will never sell anything to anyone that I don't think that this is the best fit for. I just don't want that karmically. I want to always create win-win scenarios. Like, my desire is to just uplift everyone in this world in whatever way I can. And if I'm not the best fit, I literally refer people whenever I'm not. I'm like, hey, this is a really good book. If you're like at this space, maybe this program's better for you, or this price point service, or this friend who's working in this energy and doing this. Even today, I had someone who was asking me for grief counseling and support in that way. And I'm like, do you know what? I don't specialize in that. I have a beautiful friend who's gone through exactly what you've gone through, and she would be really supportive for you right now. So I promise you right now that the only way that you will get into this program is if it's your best fit. So if you're kind of getting that nudge and you're like, I feel like this will help me, and you're not really 100% sure, send me a message, send me an email, whatever way you need to get whatever questions you have answered and to make sure that you are the best fit for this right now. Maybe you're a better fit in the future, whatever, no judgments. It's just, I'm here to support you in whatever way I can. So the different benefits that people get is that group support for 6 weeks. So it'll start November 29th, run for 6 weeks. That very last class, which will be January 10th, I am going to do just an open Q&A of like anything. So if you want to know stuff about my Tony Robbins experiences with Date with Destiny or Life and Wealth Mastery, or just anything about my life or how I've run my business, or like you want any kind of support, it'll be like a free-for-all of like any questions that you have to make your life better, to improve your life, to have the recommendations that you need to going forward after we're done our 6-week container together. So that's an incredible addition I felt called to give, where people can just like literally ask whatever they feel called to, and I will be an open book during that last call. So you'll actually get 7 Thursdays for calls, and then all the Sundays in between, which again, you don't need to show up to every single Sunday. Those Sundays are that support office hours time, so you don't need to come to those. The ones that are the mirror of what we've done in the past are those Thursday class lessons. And again, they're recorded so you can catch them on the replay whenever you feel called. Excuse me. So they'll get that group support for 6 weeks, plus that Facebook community, which I will be in regularly, like every single day during the week. I'll also pop in on the weekends sometimes to make sure that you guys are getting the support that you need to on your journey. You'll have that accountability that you need to actually achieve your goals. So by the time that January 1st rolls around, you're going to be like, I'm celebrating this win, and I'm celebrating this win. I'm super awesome in this, and I'm so much further on my journey around here. Like, you'll be seeing those transformations and breakthroughs and aha moments by the time you get to 2019. So that'll put you in such a high vibration state to literally create the best year yet for yourself. You'll get my objectivity and seeing your patterns and blocks and limiting beliefs that have been holding you back. Because unfortunately, we can't see our own shit when we're in it. We're like horses with blinders on, and we're just living our life. Whereas someone outside of you, so a coach or a mentor, can literally be like, it's that thing right there. And then support you in course correcting, or like making that 2mm shift that puts you on the success curve of life, that will support you being happier or healthier right now. So we'll close the gaps. We'll be doing muscle testing, and a lot of those videos doing a ton of healings around closing those gaps between where you're at and where you want to be. You'll get my expertise in forming those new habits that you need to. So those different lessons on self-love, self-care, attitude of gratitude, helping boundaries and assertiveness skills. We'll be diving even deeper into all of those, giving you different things that you can implement, different exercises that will support you, all those healing downloads that will support you, clearing what's no longer serving you, putting in alignment with your dream happy life. And you'll have that actually moving your life forward. I found, particularly just personally for me, whenever I put my money where my mouth is, I always step up. I will stay up a little bit later to do that homework. I'll prioritize it. I'll carve it in. I'll find a way to do the things that I invest in, because I'm like, this is important. This is so important, just like a doctor's office appointment is for me. So I commit to showing up to things like I don't when it's like a free webinar, or when it's just like, oh, I should read this book at some point in time. When I have that accountability and commitment, especially to a mentor and to a group, I show up exponentially more than I do when I'm left to my own devices. It's just human nature, unfortunately, but that's what this group will support you with as well, so that you will literally end 2018 on a high note, in that high vibration state, to create so much more positive momentum in 2019 and to continue in that high vibration energy. So then results that people have gotten in the past and typically get when working with me, even one-on-one, they get this working with me, but they've also gotten it in this group setting, is that they do move towards their dream happy life so quickly. You hire and invest in mentors because you can collapse the time that it would take you to get there yourself. Like if you're struggling to get from point A to point B, we'll get you from point A to point Z in the amount of time working together. So it'll shift and change your life and have those transformations in it. We'll clear those limiting beliefs that have been holding you back, that have been keeping you stuck and preventing you from really living the happy life that you've been desiring. An added benefit of this is that you also lower your stress and your worry and the overwhelm and the chaos in your life, so you can enjoy more peace and happiness and love and joy in your life, which is super fun and awesome. This will also give you more time for yourself, your relationships, your true passions, all the things that you're really desiring in your life. It'll give you so much more space for that, which is really awesome, because when you love yourself more, when you're taking better care of yourself and having those boundaries to really protect your time and energy, you have more time for those things that you truly value. This will also help you to love yourself more. Will really expand that version of yourself so that you can look in the mirror and see love. You'll see your truth, your beauty, your radiance. I actually have a whole process and system for you, changing that negative belief system and moving you through this beautiful unconditional love meditation that will get you to seeing your truth, your radiance, your beauty, just this unconditional love for yourself. So I'm so excited that that will expand for you guys. And then you'll have new self-care habits and rituals in your life that are just established, that you'll continue with throughout your entire life. So I found that's priceless on my journey, having these habits that are making me a healthier me, so that I won't get the disease that maybe my family has. Like there's been cancer and heart disease in my family that my grandparents have had, that my father has, that I was just like, oh, I'm going to have these things. But if you truly prioritize your health and have these healthy self-care habits, then you will drink more water. You'll drink a green smoothie. You'll do these things that are good for your body so that you can have an alkaline body and live here longer with more vibrant, energetic health. This also will give you a more positive mindset. We're going to do that work so that we have a more loving voice, which quiets that ego, that negative voice in the back of our head, so that this will all raise our vibration, raise our energy, have a happier, more loving, joyful energy about us, and that this will all attract more of what we're desiring in our life. So it'll start bringing us those things that are on our dream happy life list, so we can have the dream happy life that we've been desiring. So who is this for? I've been asked this, and it's only for women. Sorry, men, this is a sisterhood container just for this offering. And it's people who are done being unhappy and just are so excited to move forward and want to be happier now. Not next week, not next year, now. It's for those people who are feeling that call to be happier version of themselves now. And I loved when I first read Gretchen Rubin's Happiness Project. She's like, I want to be happy because if I can't be happy now, what's going to happen when life's negative circumstances happen and someone's sick, or I have to take care of a parent, or there's a death? I can't build those happiness skills then. So she did this beautiful project. That was one of the first books I read on my healing journey. So if you're taking anything as the next step and you're like, I don't want to do this, but I'd like a book, Gretchen Rubin, The Happiness Project was so powerful for me. And in this container, we will be creating those happiness habits that will support you so that you can be happy in the good times and the bad. So you'll have these self-care habits and rituals and positive mindsets and the tools that you need to choose happy in those moments. So this is the information about the investment that you're making. So it'll be $600. Normally, if you want to make your investment in full, you get a discount. So you get it at $497. There is also a 24-hour fast action bonus. So a 1 hour one-on-one session with me to go into anything that you want. So like that winner who's going to get a winning session with me, you're going to have a session on whatever you want, theta healing, coaching, blogging about your life and finding solutions about it, whatever you need to go into in that 1 hour session with me. That's what that'll be for. And then I also have a 1 hour blended session where we're doing that distance Reiki healing on you. I also really love incorporating that theta healing energy into it. And then at the end, also giving you special intuitive guidance that came through during this session. Just sharing that with you guys, that you have everything that you need to support you even energetically in your physical human body. So I'm super excited to be offering that. There's also payment plans available if you're feeling more called to that. And then for the super excited people, like I love my seekers. I've always been a seeker on my journey. So I love when I got rewarded for those things, for being like a hell yes, all in now. So I really love giving those extra special bonuses to my people as well. So super, super fast action bonus for tonight only. So I'm sending this replay out as soon as possible. So it's for the people who are still on live or who will catch the replay tonight, Sunday night, whatever time you are in the world, Sunday night, you investing in this. You're also going to get WhatsApp voice support with me. So WhatsApp is similar to Voxer. Sometimes people know about Voxer support with coaches. I typically like WhatsApp. It's a little bit better in my mindset. But it's essentially like Messenger. So you know Facebook Messenger. Only my Facebook Messenger can really explode sometimes. And then people sometimes get lost in that, and I don't prioritize people talking to me randomly in my Messenger. I prioritize my clients who are using WhatsApp with me, and I prioritize my clients who are emailing me. So the priority in which I address people in my life is like my friends and family who are calling me or texting me, my WhatsApp clients who are sending me those voice messages or just typing out things. I reply back either in a voice message to be like, would you like this healing download? Say yes for this. Just so that you also don't have to read it. It's easier on both ends. So you can type, you can say it out loud, whichever way you prefer. Then I can also type or just record my voice and send that voice memo type thing back to you. It's a free app. It's super easy to use. I promise it's really easy. So that'll give you more access to me. So this is available just for people tonight only. So if you're like, I'm a hell yes, I'm in right now, and you want to pay in full or even do one of those installment payments, that's available for you tonight only. So that even when I'm away for that week, you will get fast action to me. Again, my family and my text messages, my WhatsApp people, all of my WhatsApp clients get priority. Then I go into my email for my clients there and go through my email just like a normal person in my email. And then finally I do my other stuff. So my Facebook Messenger is lower priority. My LinkedIn messages, lower priority. So that's kind of super priority of speaking with me with the WhatsApp voice support. So again, you get those 24-hour bonuses as well if you do it tonight or by 7:30 Atlantic tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern tomorrow. So if you want to just like be all in and pay now, you can go to www.paypal.me/coachlauramcphee.com. And I think I can do this in the chat box as well. So you guys have it. Can I? Oops. Chat. Yes, I can. So www.paypal.me/Coach Laura McPhee MCPHE/497. So I'm putting that in the comments. So if anyone just wants to click it, then it's a link in the comments right now. So if you're like a hell yes and you want that tonight bonus of special one-on-one And like, I even check that on the weekend sometimes, guys. Like, Facebook group will be a little bit more like during the week, sometimes on the weekend if I feel called to it. But WhatsApp, I typically check every day. Just because not all my clients have it, just my premium clients have it. So you'll become a premium client if you want to invest in that tonight. Okay. So I've had this where I've been super excited about webinars and things that I learn about. And then I'm like, oh my God, that negative voice is saying these things. So I want to address that ego voice right now, just so that you have different perspectives on it and a more loving way to see it and talk to and interact with that voice, instead of being like, well, I'm always in suffering. I've always been tired and exhausted and miserable. Like, this is just how life is. I want you to have some more skills to talk to and address that ego voice so you're not in suffering with it. So this is for your voice. Like, I'm not about hard selling again. If this isn't like, ooh, you're feeling called to that, or having some kind of nudge, or being like, I need more support. I do need something that's actually going to make me happier. I'm done waiting month and month and month, or year and year, or even decade and decade to be happier. I really am ready to do these steps now and to be happier now and have more self-love and care in my life right now. If you're ready for that and you're just dealing with that negative voice, it's like, you don't deserve this. Like, you don't have time to do this. You don't have the money to do this. I'm addressing that negative voice, that you guys have different ways to deal with it and actually truly see if that is right for you or not. So one that I find that people have, and I even have sometimes, is I don't have the time. So you can look at that and be like, okay, that's a thought. I don't have the time. Is that really true? And just even asking, is that really true? You can start to shift your perspective. And then, like, side note, I got this from the book Loving What Is by Byron Katie. That's a fantastic book. Again, I had that at the very beginning of my journey. So if you're like, ooh, I love reading books or Audible, I listen to Audible all the time. I want positive things coming into my brain, because positive in is positive out. Junk in is junk out. So asking yourself that question, is that really true? Is that thought that I'm having really true? Can open up and expand you. So looking at the thought, I don't have the time. Well, what do I spend my time on right now? What do I spend time doing now that doesn't make me happy? Is that work? Is that with relationships that drain you, that you get done with and you're like, oh my God, drama, and like, I'm exhausted by talking to that person and they just vented with me. Like, what are you doing that isn't making you happy right now? How much time and energy and even money, how much time, energy, and money is not being happy costing me? That was an interesting way I phrased that. So yeah, sometimes we spend a lot of time doing things where we're numbing out. Sometimes we spend time being emotional eaters. Sometimes we're emotional shoppers. Sometimes we try to fill that hole within ourselves, that like hole where like happiness or self-love or fulfillment or a nurturing, awesome relationship should be. We try to fill it with buying stuff on Amazon, with racking up credit card bills. So how much time and energy and even money is not being happy really costing you? So do you really not have the time? Are you spending more hours at work to try to pay down your credit card bill because you're emotionally eating out every single day of the week? Or you're an emotional shopper and have a ton of stuff in your house that's collecting dust that you thought would make you happy? Or you're going on these like big expensive trips hoping that it'll help you make you a little bit happier, but then the trip happens and you're still not happy after it. You like don't have the long lasting skills or tools that you need to make you consistently happy. What do I do to numb out? How much time is that? And I've been super guilty in the past of numbing out, watching hours and hours and hours and binge watching TV. And unfortunately, in this burnout culture that we have, it is normalized to numb out, to just drink, to just go outside and smoke, to do whatever you need. That is, again, costing you time or money to buy that alcohol, to waste another hour watching a program that you're not really getting like excited or fulfilled by. You're just like, I don't want to deal with life, so I'm spending time watching this right now. So again, we're not judging this. We're just asking that ego, okay, if I don't have time, what am I spending time with right now? How much is that really costing me? How much time am I spending doing these things that aren't making me happier? Another question you can ask is, if I don't start treating my health as a priority, how many years will I lose of my life? So when I first got into my very first reading that I ever had by someone, when I started getting into this like spiritual world, when I was doing a workshop at a crystal shop, I had a reading and she said, if you continue on your path, like my burnout path, I was going to be sick by the time I was 40. And that felt so true and so terrifying to me. That gave me the motivation to get on this healthy, happy path then, in that moment. Because I saw people in my life who had cancer. It's hereditary, like heart disease is hereditary, but those habits have been passed down to me. So I don't eat the way that those people who had heart disease, like I'm not an alcoholic, I don't have all these things. Like there were so many negative habits that contributed for sure and were linked to the diseases and cancer and issues that people in my life have had. And I'm so much more healthy. I take better care of my body. I exercise. I do the self-care rituals that I need to be healthy. So I'm in an alkaline body. Cancer can't live in an alkaline body. It works and lives in acidity. in acidity. So if you had an acidic body where you put in coffee and Coke and processed food and sugar and junk, then you're more likely to have those negative things happen. So if you don't start drinking water and eating healthier and establishing these important mindsets and self-care routines, that's a hard question to ask yourself, but it's important. I don't want you guys to get sick and be in a hospital bed and be like, fuck, I could have done better. Like I could have done something better. And it doesn't need to be with me. Like, again, if this program isn't feeling like your best next step, or like you need to talk to me one-on-one to make sure that it is, like, I'm not trying to like take your money. I have no interest in having someone's money if they're not actually going to benefit from this. But I do have so much desire for you to live a healthier life, for you to have the most happy and vibrant life that you can have. So if you need to ask yourself the question, if I don't start treating my health as a priority now, what am I going to lose? Am I going to lose the abilities in my bodies that I enjoy right now? Will I die sooner than I would have liked? Will I not get to see my grandchildren grow up? Will I not get to go to big life moments that my kids have because I have such an unhealthy lifestyle right now? What do you really need to look at yourself and be like, I'm ready to shift and change this? So that's a question for you. Again, no judgments. Like I was in a negative space just because that's what I had always had. It was my norm. It was what I was taught. But when we become aware, it's our responsibility to ourselves for us to change it. And ignorance isn't bliss. There are so many people who are getting in that hospital bed or getting to a shorter lifespan, and they're like, I didn't know that this was hurting me. And unfortunately, it's not common knowledge. We're not taught in school what healthy foods are to support your body and to have an alkaline body. We're not taught the things that we need to truly love ourselves. And we're taught by marketing firms and advertising agencies through the big, huge corporations of this world, all the things that we need to buy to keep up with the Joneses, the makeup, all the things that you spend your time and money on, but you're not actually happy by. You're just trying to do it so you don't think that you're as terrible of a human being as you were when you weren't doing it. So I don't want you to live in that space. I want you to truly be the happiest version of yourself. And again, this isn't for men. It's just a container of women. So if you're a man watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, I need like a support group for men, I have awesome men who are doing incredible stuff in that masculine energy of like supporting men and empowering men in incredible ways. So if you need recommendations, again, reach out to me and I will help you find the person that's the next best step for you. Another question you can ask yourself is, do I really have an hour and a half in the run of a week that I can invest in myself? Could you actually carve in 1 hour of your time, an hour and a half? Because that's those lesson calls that will typically be on Thursdays. And again, I'll post the like exact, maybe when I send the link to the replay, I'll also send you guys an attachment with that. So on Thursday, the 29th, you're going to have that introduction call with me. Then your first lesson will be that following Sunday before I go on my trip. Then for that week, so Thursday onwards, you're going to get those special extra guest experts. And then the following Thursday, as soon as I'm back from my trip, we go back to lessons. So the lessons will be on every single Thursday. So self-care will be Thursday, self-love's on Sunday. Okay, so 29th, intro night. I should have totally just put the calendar in the slide. I'm realizing that now. I will do so in the future. Improvement, yay. So see, my positive mind was like, yay, improvement idea, instead of like beating myself up and being like, oh, that wasn't perfect. So if you want to look at your phone right now, that would be a really cool thing to do. So that we can all see the calendar and we can all see the dates. Okay, so this Thursday, the 29th at 7:30 Atlantic, 6:30 Eastern, you're going to have that introduction call with me. Then on Sunday, December 2nd, you will have the first lesson on self-love with me, live. That'll be about an hour and a half, could go to 2 hours, depending on how many questions we have, how deep in the healings people feel called to going into. That's totally, I'm literally ask my higher power, God, creator, source energy, to use me to support you guys in any way that I can to make sure that you get everything that you need on your journey. So on Sunday, December 2nd, that's that self-love. On December 6th, that's when my date with Destiny starts. So you're going to have an extra special call with Shannon Edgett from Spirit Fox Wellness. Then on Sunday, December 9th, you're going to get that call, which is more about self-love and care and happiness, with Whitley Jane from Skype. And she'll answer any questions that you have. On Tuesday, December 11th, you'll have that bonus reading and Reiki healing session with Robin from Robin's Healing. And then I'm back, totally done my thing on the 12th. So I'll be flying, good to do my flying then. So I'll be back and active in the Facebook group for sure by then. On the 13th, we're doing that call together on self-care. So we're going to be back as usual on the 13th with me running all the calls on Thursdays for the lessons, the office hours on Sundays. So then Sunday, December 16th, office hour. You guys come to whatever you need to get healed, worked on, any questions that you have. I'm an open book to help and support you guys in whatever you need. Then on the 20th, on Thursday, again, you're learning another lesson. So it'll be on gratitude. Then on Sunday, the 23rd, another office hour with me. On the 27th, that's another Thursday, you're going to learn boundaries. That'll be a lesson. On the 30th, which is a Sunday, you can come to the office hours if you're feeling called to. Then on January 3rd, which is a Thursday, you're getting that assertiveness lesson. On the 6th of January, that's another office hour if you're feeling called to deeper support and help and you need extra questions answered. So that's the end of the 6 weeks. But then also, so you get an extra call with me for that Thursday that I'm not there. On that very last day of our 6 weeks together on January 10th, on Thursday evening, I will be an open book for anything that you need. So we can use it like an office hour. You guys can ask any other additional questions that are totally unrelated to like anything that we've ever asked before. If you guys want to ask me anything about your life and your business or my life and my business, like you want extra access to anything that you have, I am here to answer all of your questions in whatever way I can. Okay, so, but for that question, do I really have an hour and a half that I can carve out and invest in myself? That will typically be those Thursday calls. So can you have that time to join that one call a week? And if you can't catch it live, you can always send in through email to me, through the Facebook group, whatever you need to make sure that you're getting your questions answered, that you're still getting that accountability. I will check in with you regardless, even if you're on the live call or not. I will check in with you to make sure that you're getting the accountability and support that you need to on your journey. So if you're just going to catch the recordings, if you're like, okay, how can I watch a recording during the week? So you have your lunchtime, you have some breaks in your day. Are you commuting? Are you taking a bus or a train? How can you find little breaks? So it might be 5 minutes at a time that you're watching these videos. If you have like busy life and super busy kids, maybe you're blocking off 20 minutes at a time or half an hour at a time and watching it in increments. Whatever you need to, just literally, if your ego mind's saying, I don't have the time, what's your truth saying? What's your higher self saying? Do you have the time for this? Then another common one that people have, I don't have the money. Scarcity, I don't have time, I don't have money. So those are super common. Again, we're asking from loving what is that really true? Just looking at that thought and giving other questions. So have I been resourceful in the past? I'm sure if you've had your back to the wall, you've been able to find the money. I know that I have when I'm like, ooh, I feel so called to doing this. Even investing in Master University with Tony Robbins, I had to take out money and like drain my RSPs because I was so called to doing it. I knew it was going to transform my life. And just doing Life and Wealth Mastery, that alone was so transformational and life-changing. And I'm so grateful for that experience. It's like, yes, I know why I had that voice saying I need to do that. So can you be resourceful? How can you be resourceful? Asking yourself the question, how can I have the money? What do you need to do? So could I take some more shifts over the holidays? The holidays are a really busy time. If you are a light worker who takes insurance, that's a really busy time for people. People want to use up their insurance before the end of the year. Same with massage professionals. How much is my Christmas bonus? Sometimes people forget that their Christmas bonus is coming in and they're like, ooh, I have extra money that I wasn't thinking of. I have more abundance than I originally thought. So you can get really excited about that. You can also ask your questions about how you can be resourceful in other ways to get that money. So could I ask my loved ones for money as gifts so that I can take this? So instead of getting that sweater that you always get or some socks or a gift card to like La Senza or wherever you're going to get your stuff, ask for actual cash so that you can put it against this program or put it against payments for this program, because I am also offering installment payments. So could you just ask for money instead? Could you reduce your current Christmas spending that you've always done in the past and be a little bit more thoughtful and present with your loved ones? Could you make it less about gifts this year and more about time and really thoughtful ideas for everyone? Or maybe experiences for people instead of like huge expensive gifts? Because I personally had that in my family where, for example, my dad and my grandparents, their love language was gift giving. So they'd give me big gifts, but my love language is not gifts. So physical touch, quality time mean a lot more to me than someone giving me a computer or these technology things or whatever I've received in the past. The love and the connection means more. So if you do have people in your family who have that, maybe you could kind of look into their love language or just be like, do you know what? I've given them big gifts and they're not as excited and they kind of collect dust when I give them those things. And I think they only take it out when I'm around. Or like, you know, for fucking certain that they don't use this thing that you gave them. Then you can be like, okay, maybe I can spend a little more time and meet them where they're at and connect with them in a different way instead of spending huge amounts of money on people. Because to me, that's not really what Christmas is about, not spending money, but spending time. Also, a really awesome one that you can think of is, can I sell things that I'm not using and are collecting dust? Is there going to be something, for example, people tend to have treadmills. Like I have a massage chair that I've used a lot more recently, so I'm never going to sell that because now I'm like, when that comes to my mind, I'm like, okay, I use it more. So are there things in your life that you are literally just holding on to because you're like, I spent a bunch of money on it that could serve and support someone else? And also, abundance wise, because someone else wanted me to touch on some abundance stuff in here, if we're holding on to things, then we're blocking the circulation and the flow of the universe. So if you're holding on to something that someone else needs and that you could give to someone else, then the thing that could be coming to you in that space isn't coming to you because you're like holding on to things with like such a tight grip, being in that survival mode, being like, well, if I don't have this thing, then whatever, blah, 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 stories, limiting beliefs that we can make a whole other video on. But when we're in that flow, then it's good. That's another side thing. I've also had gift cards for things that I don't go to. Like I'm not a big Starbucks person. So like I still have a Christmas card from Starbucks last year that's in my wallet that I could show you right now that I haven't used because I don't go to Starbucks that much. So really think of it. Be like, do people give me stuff that I don't use? And I could be like, hey, Grammy or Aunt, whoever, I love that you give me gift cards, but I'm really doing this exciting program to be happier. I would really love if you could just like give me cash. That would feel way better. Or email money, transfer me the money or whatever. So you can actually get the things that you want and you won't have stuff collecting dust. You can also sell the things that have been collecting dust in your house to just create that extra little bit of money for yourself. Again, if you're like super into this program and you just want to release that ego voice. And also, a really interesting question that you can ask yourself is, can I invest in my health this time? So me personally, I have my savings account so that it always takes money from my checkings to my savings every single month. It's automated. I just have that. So there were times in my life where I've been investing in myself and I've taken that money that would have gone to savings, or I've even taken some of my tax-free savings account, or that time that I took RSPs. I invested in my health now because I know that investing in me now is going to pay dividends over my entire life. It's going to support me in being a healthier version of myself, which lets me live a longer life. It supported me in business, which means I get to help you guys more and have the tools and understandings of how to run a business that's a spiritual business in ways that are really effective to other people and support people in different ways. So there's a ton of times where I've taken that money that I would have continued to grow my savings and I've invested it in my health. So were you feeling called to that? Are you like, yeah, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and I need to invest a little bit more in my health now so that I will get to that retirement age, so that I will be able to use all the money here? Because guess what? If you die early, you can't take it with you. And that was like a big revelation for me because, again, I've seen people in my life and their entire thing was, I need to get money, I need to get money, I need to get money. And they reach a point in their life where they're literally barreling out their money that they've accumulated to get healthy, to have a little bit more time to pay for the treatments and the medicine that they need. So that was deeply ingrained at me, that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So is it time to do that little ounce now to support you over the rest of your life? So these are just thoughts for you guys to consider if you're having that negative ego voice. So I have created some payment plan options for you guys. So again, if you want that super fast action bonus tonight, you can get that WhatsApp voice support with me. Still with this installment, you just have to pay your $150 payment deposit now, and then you'll have 3 other installment payments of $150. So it's $100 now tonight, or within 24 hours if you want those 24 hours fast action bonuses, that 1 hour one-on-one session with me, and again, that 1 hour distance Reiki Theta intuitive guidance session with me. And those 2 fast action bonuses alone are worth more than that installment. So like, I'm literally like, I felt crazy called to offer all these things, but like it was coming through and I trust creator. So I was like, I'm giving you every little bit of value that you can need on this journey. And it's crazy how much value and support you're getting. Like these bonuses plus your experts is like more than the cost of the course itself. So like you're getting so much value from this. You will guaranteed have transformations for this. So those 3 installments will be done monthly. So again, in December, so if you join December, if you join tonight, so that's November 25th, then it'll be charged again on December 25th, on January 25th, on February 25th, monthly for 3 months, and then 1 payment right now. So that's how that'll be broken down too. I also usually get questions from my US clients after who don't understand the exchange rate and like how much better the exchange is for the States right now. So the course in full right now, that $497 Canadian is like so deeply discounted just because of the exchange rate. So it's $375.73. I Googled it today, the US to Canada exchange rate. So with that exchange rate, if you use that PayPal link, so again, it's still in the comments, www.paypal.me/Coach Laura McPhee, $497. That will be converted from that Canadian to US. So you're only actually paying today with the exchange rate. Again, that can change depending on if you're doing it tomorrow or the next day or the next day. But right now it's $375.73. So that's like incredible what you guys get for living in the US, which is really cool. And then I'll put in the comments also the $150 for anyone who's feeling called to that installment payment. So you can do the $150 tonight or within 24 hours if you want all those bonuses, or before Thursday when we start. Then that's $113.40 US with the exchange compared to the $150 Canadian. And then again, that $150 Canadian amount will be taken out in December and January and February. So whatever that amount is on that date. So it'll be around 113. It might be a little bit less, it might be a little bit more, depending on how that exchange works. It'll be that same 150 Canadian. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, you guys can put that in the comments. And if you're not feeling called to the group, if you're like, I really just, it's not a hell yes for me right now, but I'm feeling something, or if you're a man who's watching this, who's like, I want a next step and I'm not a woman, so I can't join your group, then that program that I had done in the spring, Living a Happy Life program, I'll give you that 6-week digital program. So you're gonna get every single lesson, every single healing download, all the things that they got in that 6 weeks. You'll get that on self-love, self-care, gratitude, boundaries, and assertiveness. And regularly that investment is $197. But until tomorrow night, I'm going to do a very special offer for you guys, which is $97. So it's like so much value for, I was just super called to give it to you so that you guys could get your like all-in stuff, whatever you want for that $97. So you're like, yes, I'm called to do this. I will do it now. And then that 6-week program, you can also do over however many weeks that you want, because you'll get all 6 recordings at once. So you can do 1 a week, you can do 1 every other week, however you feel called to do that. And again, with that US exchange, it's $73.33 US with that exchange rate. As of today, it could change tomorrow, but that is what it is right now. Then I also wanted to give you guys one of those testimonials. I have more on my website, more on my Facebook page, my actual business page, Laura McPhee. So if you want to see those reviews, I encourage you guys to do that. But Marlene, so she took that 6-week course in the spring and said, Laura is amazing. Living a Happy Life 6-week course was engaging, informative, and interactive. Laura used theta healing to unblock areas around finances, health, emotional issues, and others. This helped me tremendously. We had weekly assignments to do that we could wait until the next week to discuss or send them to Laura through Facebook or her personal page if it was urgent to resolve, and she would do theta healing by sending me a video to clear the blocks. So I, again, use that voice memo thing, but that'll be for the people on WhatsApp as like additional help and support. Otherwise, it'll go to that group setting. I won't do as much individual conversations. I'll be taking anything privately if you want it to be kept anonymous, but I'll be answering them in the groups so that everyone can benefit. I found that that's worked really well whenever I've offered the different group programs and when I've been in different group programs and masterminds as well. Because typically you're not the only one having those questions or thoughts, and it's beneficial for the entire group. I've had that happen so often when people are like, oh my gosh, I needed this. So it's like you asking that question is so supportive for the entire group too. Okay, so Laura was available when you needed her. We also had a different theme for the week to discuss. So that was the self-love, self-care, attitude of gratitude, boundaries, and assertiveness skills. This course made me look inside my heart to see where I was blocked emotionally, financially, etc. It also helped me to get to know myself more deeply and connect with my higher self. She showed me a neat technique called muscle testing, which I still use today. So this was like after the program for a while that I asked if anyone felt called to give a recommendation of the program for others to benefit from. And she said, I would recommend this course to everyone. There is no judgment, only Laura's caring heart. Laura, thank you so much for bringing me on this journey. God bless you. So I felt really called to sharing that with you. Again, there's more on my website. If you go under the digital programs option, or if you go to my Facebook page, there's reviews there about the program or about those special fast action bonuses you're getting with like Reiki and Theta and all the things blended in. So it's totally up for you guys to make the choice how you guys want to move forward on your journey. If you're feeling called to me, you have 3 main options. So you can do that course, the $497 in full. You can do the installments, so that'll be 4 installments of $150, that deposit now of $150, and then your 3 installments in December, January, and February, 1 month after your payment date. Or if you're feeling called to that digital program and being walked through it at your own pace, or if you're a man and want all that information. So again, for the US people, I'll put that in. Just so that it's super clear. I just thought I should put that in the comments too for that 97 so that everyone has all the options. And if you have any questions while you're live, you can also ask them to me too now. Okay, so Coach Laura McPhee /97 is the other way you can do it. So yeah, it's 4 installments of $150, which is $113.40 US. Again, so cheap with the exchange rate, it's ridiculous. And then the digital program is $73.33 US with the exchange rate now. It's so crazy. So if you're feeling called to your next steps with me, these are the main ways. I also do have some open space in my practice for one-on-one people. If you're called to it, I do require clarity calls before we work together one-on-one. I, again, really want to make sure that it's the best fit for both of us. And if you're questioning which one you wanted to do and you're like, ooh, I really want that fast action bonus tonight, send me a Facebook message right now. Send me email at laura@coachlauramcphee.com if you'd rather email me. If you're like, yeah, that WhatsApp support, like additional, like premium access to you is like, hell yes, then you get that tonight only on Sunday. If you're feeling called to that 24-hour fast action bonuses, so by tomorrow night, I just said tomorrow night. So yeah, if you want to do it a little bit further, because if people are getting off work and then they have to watch this, which I understand that this is becoming a 2-hour webinar, but I really wanted to pack this full with as many healings and information as possible. So until tomorrow night, so whatever time you're at Monday night, if you want that fast action bonus, 1 hour one-on-one session to go over whatever, coaching, healing, theta healing, whatever. And then you'll also have that bonus 1 hour distance Reiki blend of theta and intuitive guidance. You'll have that as well. So those are your choices. If you feel called to moving forward with me, you can also just send me a question or an email or a Facebook message about just any questions you have around this. If you're feeling called to another next best step, but you feel like I might give you some guidance and pointing you into that next best person, or if that grief thing really resonated with you and you're like, ooh, who did you recommend for that grief thing? Or if you're like, I'm at the stage where I'm reading free library books. I was at that stage for a while. So if you want a library book recommendation, whatever you're at on your journey, I'm here to help and support you. So ask yourself, are you ready to live your happiest life now? Are you really committed to that goal that you wrote down, to that commitment to be happier, to add more self-love or care in your life, to add more water into your life, whatever you're committed to you? Are you so excited for that? I want you to keep that enthusiasm in your life so you're carrying that on your journey as you're moving forward on your baby steps to achieve these things. And again, I would super love supporting you if you're feeling called to this and you've watched the webinar to this end. I really encourage you to at least reach out to me and see if we're the best fit. I'd love to support you truly on your journey. And I promise, like pinky swear promise, that I will never encourage you or recommend something with me if I don't feel like it's truly in alignment for your next best step, or if you're not at a place that you really feel called to move forward. If I'm like, yeah, like other people tend to be at this area when they're taking these group programs, I will be honest with you. I promise that I don't want that bad karma in my life. I don't understand how other people feel okay at night selling people things they're really, truly not the best fit for. So I will always be in my truth, in alignment, and offer things in love with you. I won't offer things out of gross energy. We'll just put it at that. So again, my email for people who want to see it out loud is laura@coachlauramcphee.com. Or again, on Facebook Messenger. I feel like a lot of people who are registered for this know me through Facebook. So if you prefer just to reach out through Facebook Messenger, you can also do so. But again, my email is where I reach out to people first. I check that before Facebook messages. And I want to encourage you guys to be so kind and loving and gentle with yourself on this journey. Don't get overwhelmed by trying to do everything at once. And I've been guilty of that in the past. And I'm like, yay, I did this webinar, or I learned this workshop and like did all these things. So like, I'm totally going to implement all of these 20 things in my life right now. And then I like make a little chart and I like give myself check marks or smiley faces or like green highlights when I do something. And for the first couple of days, maybe I can actually keep up with those 20 things. But by the end of the week, I'm at like 10 out of the 20. At the end of 2 weeks, I have none of them consistently. And by the end of the month and the year, none of those things were habits. So I want to make sure that you guys are picking that one baby step at a time so that it is becoming a habit and you're focused on that thing. Anything else that you tend to do is super awesome. It's just like cherry on top, but that one thing you're actually building a habit into your life for. And I want to encourage you guys to keep being the best version of yourself. So thank you guys so much for showing up for this today, for being a brighter, happier, better, healthier version of yourself. The world truly needs it. You need it. Your friends and family need it. Your children and grandchildren will need it. So I really encourage you guys to keep making these positive baby steps forward on your journey to be the best version of yourself and truly live a happy life. So you have any questions? I'll kind of check into the comments to see if anything is there. or if I'm just getting some private chats about, okay, cool. Sounds good. Okay. Some yeses from before that I wasn't seeing because I was looking at everyone instead of the privates. Okay. Sounds good. Doesn't look like there's any actual questions. Cool. Okay. So if you guys are watching the replay and you have questions, again, you can email me, reach out to me on Facebook. I'm here for you guys to support you on your journeys to your next steps. If you're feeling called to the programs or the digital program or anything, reach out to me, ask your questions. I promise I don't bite. There's never a stupid question. I promise that. And the winner will again be announced tomorrow on a Facebook Live. So I'll put everyone's names who did that Facebook post being like, I'm committed to living a happier life. I'm learning how to live a happy life, or like whatever verbiage you want to put on it, and tag me so that I see it, like with Laura McPhee, or just tag me, whatever way you want to do that. Then I'll announce the winner tomorrow who gets a whole 1 hour session with me. So thank you guys so much for showing up today. Thank you guys for being a part of Be Your Best Self community. If you're from there, thank you guys for trusting me with a couple hours of your time to support you on your journey. And I'm sending you guys so much love and light, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic evening, depending on when you're listening to it. I wanted to say like night, but then I'm like evening if you're listening to it during the evening or day or afternoon or wherever you're at in the world, and whenever you're watching the replay. I hope that you guys have an awesome night for the people who are live. Everyone else, whatever time of day you're at, afternoon, evening, morning, hope you have a fantastic day, fantastic week. Happy holidays if I'm not going to see you in the group program or anything else. I wish you guys so much love and light as you continue to be a happier version of yourself in 2018. So I'm sending you guys all so much love. Thank you guys so much for showing up as a happier version of yourself. Bye.